Right now, I'm very pleased to have with us on the program Miles Hall, the owner of H&H Gun Range in Oklahoma City. Miles, how are you this evening?
I am doing very, very well. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't get a chance to see you in Las Vegas. Were you there for the SHOT Show this year?
Oh, yeah. We got there really early for Retailers U, kind of a school for dealers that started before and worked and worked and worked every day while we were there. That's a lot of hard work at the show.
It is a lot of hard work. I'm sorry that we didn't catch up with you. Hopefully, you're going to get a chance to go to the NRA annual meeting in Pittsburgh, and we'll be able to say hi then. But I ran across a story from the Daily Oklahoman. Gun laws attract attention in local, national, political circles. We had actually on the program last hour Pastor Tom Vineyard from Windsor Hills Baptist Church, who has written a letter to the police chief there, Bill City, the chief expressing displeasure at the fact that Oklahomans can own semi-automatic rifles like ARs. Has this been a big issue in Oklahoma City over the past week or so, Miles?
Yeah, actually, the story broke on Sunday before the SHOT Show.
Yeah,
is where it broke, and then of course it's just really fed on itself something horrendous as far as the city goes. Yeah, it's really a surprise. I got to admit, we all kind of sitting around scratching our head like, why are we even dealing with this? And but he said his piece, and it's funny. I always get tickled why these people even go that route, because when you look at it, there's just no basis for this. And no logicness to it to make it be accurate. We should do this. There's nothing to that.
yeah.
Yet there they are, and I don't know. You got to sit back and wonder sometimes. At least I do, anyway.
Well, you do, and again, I told the pastor I cannot imagine serious gun control ordinances being introduced in Oklahoma City. That would stun me, Miles. From what I know about Oklahoma City, I don't think Oklahoma City has become more anti-gun in the years since I moved away.
Yeah, no. But one thing is for sure, this has certainly brought out those that were those questionable folks. That's probably the best way to phrase it.
Yeah. Do you believe that? Because I saw here there was discussion at Tuesday's City Council meeting. A couple of the council members commended Chief City for speaking out on the issue. But the city manager said the city would, quote, like to strike a balance between the Second Amendment and the desire to keep its citizens and police officers safe. He said the issue is so controversial that drafting new policies is problematic. Again, I don't think, Miles, there's a balance between the Second Amendment and the desire to keep citizens and police officers safe. I think that's actually on the same side of the ledger, so to speak.
It is. It's all they're doing is trying to hide behind these words. The bottom line is there's no basis in the Constitution on it, and that's anytime I hear somebody, particularly elected officials, who start to jump into that fracas, my first thought is they're no longer believers in the basics of what we have as our freedoms. In other words, there needs to be this, there needs to be that. I mean, no. The rights are right. Leave it alone.
Yeah.
Rights are right. Leave it alone.
Yeah. So what are you hearing? I mean, are folks coming into your store? Are they worried that perhaps the city council will try to pass some sort of gun control ordinance?
Well, I think everybody's just sort of, Oklahoma doesn't panic anyway on any issue. But what we have heard is a lot of people getting nervous because here again, once you start this talk, it's a slippery slope,
Yeah. No, you're right, and this is unusual. As I said, this is unusual for Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City residents aren't necessarily used to dealing with this kind of talk.
Yeah, I would be surprised to see if anything comes out of it. We're all kind of wondering what's going to happen out of the speech tomorrow night.
Well, we are
That's what
too.
We're all kind of wondering about.
We are too, as a matter of fact. And again, I mean, you've got all of the usual suspects, the gun control advocates like Paul Humke and Dennis Hennigan are, in essence, on their knees begging President Obama to bring up gun control. You've got a couple of pundits here in the D.C. area who've said it doesn't make any sense for President Obama to do it. Again, there's no real public outcry for more gun control. There's no evidence that renewing a magazine ban would really be effective at anything. And three, if Obama does try to bring up gun control, the portion of the electorate that he referred to as the quote-unquote bitter clingers back in 2008 that he is trying to woo. You know, he's running for re-election. He's trying to get as many of those bitter clingers to vote for him as he can. You go after gun control, and all of a sudden they're never going to vote for you.
Yeah, no, that's and that may be the case. The funny thing, it wasn't 24 hours after that incredible tragedy that happened that we had people starting to scream for this. You know, and of course, what gets me is that there's just such a there's no shame, no shame at all. They're ready to just jump right in the middle and I hate that. I hate the fact that people want to do that at any cost.
Yeah.
You know, and of course we all tend to want to pause sometimes and think, you know, well, maybe they're right. Well, no. And anytime you do what's against the Constitution, anytime you go get something that's against the Bill of Rights, you know, then to me that's the ultimate insult to the people.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, you said it wasn't more than 24 hours. I think it was about 48 hours before the first fundraising email went out from one of the gun control groups trying to raise money off of the tragedy in Tucson. And I thought that was even even worse than introducing legislation. You know, the idea of let's try to raise money off of this. That was just so gross. You know, it's just so inappropriate. But this is what that's what they're reduced to now.
Yeah, that is what they've reduced to. That's exactly right. That is exactly right. You know, we've not heard from, of course, Pastor Vineyard, a wonderful man, by the way.
Yeah.
And a lot of the folks that we're hearing coming through, you know, they're all sitting around saying, you know, are they going to be that stupid again? And because it wasn't the first time that this kind of stuff's been thrown out. It's just first time recently.
Yeah. Well, you know, again, I have no advanced knowledge of what President Obama will say. Sadly, he doesn't share the advanced copies of his speeches with me.
Yep. Actually, they talked about that tonight on the NBC Nightly News. In fact, they said that there has been no release at all. They're keeping everything very close to the deal. And, of course, I'm sitting around thinking, okay, what is it that they're going to try to spring on everybody when we get through? You know.
Yeah, we'll see. I did see a story this evening, not talking about guns, but mentioning that President Obama would not be calling for any sort of Social Security reform or cuts in spending to the Social Security program. So it may be that at some point tomorrow you'll have it leaked out. But the last quote that I saw from the White House was last week, and it was a statement along the lines of, as of now, the president doesn't have any plans to bring it up, to bring up the gun control issue. So that may change. I don't know. Again, the full court press has been going on for some days now, but I guess we'll play the waiting game and we'll find out together, Miles.
Yeah, no, just hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Of course, the dealers out here are all just edgy about all of this. You know, I worry. I worry because what we need to do is just leave these issues alone. Let things operate the way they're meant to operate. Put some emphasis on the bad guys when they do what they do. One of the things that, of course, got me all the time is how they immediately tried to blame everybody else but the guy who did this.
Yeah.
You know, and I keep thinking, you know, since when is personal responsibility no longer an issue?
Well, exactly right. And, you know, we've only got about 2 minutes here, but I mentioned earlier in the program that, you know, when we read about a child pornography ring being busted, for example, we don't blame Steve Jobs. We don't blame you know, the local internet service provider. We don't blame the people who made our computers or our software programs or things of that nature. Even if this, you know, was an online child pornography ring, we blame the sick individuals who broke the law. Why don't we do that when it comes to violent crime?
Good question.
I
think sometimes that there are some folks that are legitimately are trying to think, you know, we just want to stop this. We want to not have a problem. And, you know, I understand that passion. I would like to stop this too. But how you go about stopping this craziness is really what's at hand for the rest of the world. If you think that if you think that by getting rid of the tool that's out there, that's suddenly somehow going to make it all better, all you have to do is pause and take a look at driving. I mean, it's not the car's fault when we have wrecks.
Right.
You know, and if we did, we'd gotten rid of automobiles a heck of a long time ago.
Exactly right. Miles, unfortunately, sir, we are out of time, but I really appreciate you coming on the program tonight and look forward to talking again soon, man.
Always. You take care, my friend. We'll see you.